Welcome. We had a request on the Discord server to make these down the side here. So what I've done is I've made the icon, this bit here, separate. Then we'll make some titles later on that we can add to it. But as you can see, as we go through the chapter of the video, so there's no actual video chapters down here, but as we go through the chapters of the video, we've got a progress bar here. And this was a request on Discord to make this, so I've made one. And I'm just going to go through it in this video. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. I might have to do another version. So we've got here its chapter icon. Now the first thing to point out is if we jump to the Fusion page, is we come Effects Library, Template, Edit, Titles, and we scroll down to it. Because of the way it's built, I can't make it a DRFX file. I have to make it as a separate setting PNG, and this folder's full of icons. So let's jump back here, and I'm just going to go through how we're setting it up. I've done it as a single one because if we go into the controls, we've got several options here, but I'm actually going to start at the bottom. We've got global position. So let's say we're going to move it over here and we're going to move it up to the top, but then we want a few more. So click on the actual chapter icon here, hold down Alt, lift and drag, hold down Alt, lift and drag, or drag and lift. And then if we come here, we can just bring this one down a bit. And then if we come here, we can bring that one down a bit. And obviously you can do as many as you want. You can change the size of them here. And this is because I'm using Google Material icons because they're free and free for anybody to use. Rather than change them here, it's easier to change them here. So we can have different sizes. Once we got that set up, it's going to take a second to cache. I'm going to do an in and an out point, and let's just let it cache, and we'll just loop them. Now at the moment they're all exactly the same, so let's set them up. We're going to come into the first one. What we've got here, I'm going to change the icon of the first one. So in the first one, to change the icon, we just click browse, and then this is an icon folder inside our template folder. I've just put a few in here. Let's just pick the first one, and that changes the icon in there. Come to this one and we'll change the icon in there, and we'll leave that one as it is. We want the first one to play, and we want these two to be dimmed on this section. So I'm just going to come up and click dim, and you can see we've now dimmed them. You've got full control of all these colors. Let's go through them as well. If we're going to go from this section and then move on to this one, what we're going to do is duplicate all three of these. So I'm going to highlight all three of them, Alt and drag, and you can change the length of them based on the actual section. So if we made this section a little bit longer, bring me an out point up here. What we've got now is I want this one. This is the first one. And what's going to happen, we want the first one to stop. So I'm just going to put icon border on the first one because it's complete. So that is just a border. So now what happens with them, it plays through the first section and then the border freezes. So the border stops. That's the checkbox box here that says icon border. Now obviously we'll then go on to the next one. So this one here, we want to take off dim. Now when I play that, we go through the first one. And then when it gets to the end, that remains, but then we start the second one, and then we just do this again where we grab all of these, hold down Alt, click and drag, and then we could set these up now. So this one then would become with the full border, and then we'd move on to this one which wouldn't be dim, and now we've done the third one, and so on and so on. We've got the first, the second, and then the third. Now you've got other options. You don't have to have these finish lit. You can actually dim them. So if we went, for example, to the second one here, we could click dim and it can dim out again. So these are keyframeable. You bring in the icon here and it goes to this folder, but you can bring in any icon that's 96 by 96 pixels. If the size is a bit wonky donkey, then you can just click reset. Controls underneath, you've got icon color controls. So the icon active color, you can change. The icon dim color, you can change. Let's put it on dim and then you can see it. You can change. Then you've got the background color, that's changeable, so I can take dim off there. So we can change that. And the background dim, so active and dim for both. Then there are shadow controls in here, the shadows on the dim. Then we've got glow, so you've got a bit of glow on there as well. You can brighten it up. And then you've got global controls. Now global controls I'll use to resize, and these are all keyframeable. One other thing before I go into animation, I'm actually just going to jump into one of them in Fusion. Two progress bars here. This first progress bar is the live one, the active one, and then this one is the static one. So if I come to this one and you open the modifier, apply controls, you can change the color of the progress bar. Now you have to do that in Fusion at the moment because I forgot to add it to the macro. There we go. So that's that bit. And next up is, we jump back into here, how do you animate this? Well, probably the easiest way to animate it is to use Mr. Alex Tech Magic Animate, because what we can do there is we drop Magic Animate on here, we can go to effects, and then we've got Magic Animate here. I've actually done some presets for these. Okay, so using Magic Animate, we now can animate each individual one in. So rather than me put loads of effort into adding animation into the actual macro, we can just use Magic Animate and use that for the animation of each one. So if you have more than one, so let's say that's going normal, and then from there we're going to go to that bit, and then from there that's also going to be that bit, but we want to animate the whole thing rather than just individual, then highlight them, turn them into a compound clip, give the compound clip a name, and then here we could then use Alex's Magic Animate to bring that in. So I'm going to do 1 on 6. We've got Magic Animate animating that whole segment of what we would like, and using the position we can actually put that anywhere on the screen, and then Magic Animate would still work. So we've got an in and an out on that Magic Animate. That's basically it. Installing, you need to install it into your titles folder. It's not a DRFX file, so I'll put the details in the description. I hope that helps. Enjoy the rest of your day.